The cabin was calm, the kind of calm that only exists before something goes very wrong. Soft lighting, low conversation, the gentle hum of engines at cruising altitude. Passengers settled into their seats, scrolling phones, sipping drinks, not paying much attention to the elderly black man slowly making his way down the aisle. He moved carefully, one hand brushing the seatbacks for balance, the other holding a worn leather wallet that had slipped from his coat. He bent down to pick it up. That's when everything changed. A sharp voice cut through the cabin, loud, commanding, annoyed. "Sir, you need to sit down right now." The man looked up, confused, still crouched, wallet inches from the floor. He tried to explain, his voice soft, respectful. He said he had dropped something. He said he was sorry. The flight attendant didn't listen. She stepped closer, irritation all over her face, and grabbed his arm. The man flinched, startled by the sudden force. A few passengers looked up. Someone gasped. "Don't touch me," the man said, not angry, just surprised. That's when it happened. In one quick motion, the flight attendant raised her hand and slapped him across the face. The sound echoed. The cabin froze. The elderly man stumbled back, barely catching himself on a seat. His eyes were wide, not with rage, but with shock. A stunned silence spread through the plane as passengers stared, unsure if what they had just seen was real. "Sit down and don't cause trouble," the flight attendant snapped. "You people are always..." She stopped herself, but it was too late. Everyone knew what she meant. A younger black man in a tailored suit stood up from a nearby seat. His jaw tightened, his fists clenched. "That's enough," he said. The flight attendant turned toward him, rolling her eyes. "Sir, stay out of this unless you want problems too." The younger man didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "That man you just slapped," he said, pointing gently, "is my father." A murmur rippled through the cabin. The elderly man touched his cheek, still trying to process what had happened. "Son, it's fine," he said quietly. "Let's just sit." But the son didn't sit. He took out his phone, not to record, to make a call. A few rows away, a woman had already started filming, her hands shaking. Another passenger whispered, "Did she really just hit him?" Someone else muttered, "This is going to be bad." The flight attendant crossed her arms, confident, almost smug. She'd been doing this job for years. She was used to being in control. She was used to people backing down. She had no idea who she was dealing with. The son spoke into the phone calmly, professionally. He said the flight number, the time, the seat row. Then he said, "I need corporate on the line, immediately." The flight attendant laughed under her breath. "Corporate?" she scoffed. "Good luck with that." 5 minutes later, the cockpit door opened. The captain stepped out, his face pale. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. Before anyone could answer, the captain's phone rang. He listened. His expression shifted from concern to disbelief. "Yes," he said quietly. "I understand." He hung up and looked directly at the flight attendant. "Ma'am," he said, carefully choosing his words, "I need you to step away from the passengers." Now the confidence drained from her face. "What is this about?" she asked. He was being disruptive. The son finally spoke again, his voice steady but cold. "My father served in the military for 30 years. He paid for a first-class seat. He dropped his wallet. You assaulted him." The captain cleared his throat. "Sir," he said to the son, "are you Mr. Carter?" The son nodded. Several passengers sucked in their breath. The captain swallowed. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, "we are addressing a serious situation. Please remain seated." The flight attendant's eyes darted around the cabin. "Who is he?" she whispered. The captain leaned in, his voice low. "He's the majority shareholder. His family controls this airline." Her face went white. She tried to speak, but no words came out. The plane returned to the gate. Security boarded. Corporate representatives were already waiting. By the time passengers disembarked, the flight attendant was no longer in uniform. Her badge had been taken, her access revoked. The elderly man walked slowly off the plane, supported by his son. Passengers stood and applauded, not loudly, but with purpose. Some apologized to him for not speaking up sooner. He smiled gently and said, "Thank you for seeing me." The story didn't end there. By morning, the video was everywhere. News outlets picked it up. Statements were released. Policies were reviewed, training programs rewritten, but the most powerful moment never made the headlines. Later that night, the son asked his father if he wanted to press charges. The old man shook his head. "I don't want revenge," he said. "I want change." And that's the part that stayed with people, not the slap, not the power, but the reminder that dignity doesn't come from titles or money, and that the people you choose to disrespect might be far more powerful than you ever imagined.